everyone, this is CM Kosaman. Today we're back with a very interesting and one of the strangest natural events that I have ever read about. We're going to be investigating the amazing apparition that was the Inveraray entity. Was it one of the world's strangest weather phenomena? Or was it an entity? Also, if you guess the song correctly in the comment section, you know the song I was just playing a few seconds ago, if you guess it correctly, you're gonna be in for a little prize draw, okay? If you guess this song correctly in the comments, I'll have a prize draw and I'll email you my own illustration of this amazing thing, the Inveraray entity. Okay, so it might be a bit confusing because we suddenly barged into this, None of you have probably heard of this incident. It's a weather incident, actually. The main source for this thing comes from a journal of meteorology that's published in the UK. The July-August 1976 issue, to be precise. Okay, so let's first get into this, and then we'll theorize about what this thing may have been. Okay, so by the way, this article can be found as a link in the video description, so yeah, go there. Okay, so to give you an overview, I've heard of all sorts of strange weather phenomena. There are these things called sprite lightnings, which are like extremely high up in the atmosphere. They look like gigantic silent red spider webs. There's this other thing called ball lightning, which comes in a myriad of strange shapes. There's even a record of ball lightning as little as someone's pinky and hovering about like a little budgie bird. Well, we could also investigate that in a later episode. Ball lightning is very strange because it's a kind of lightning that's described as this hovering ball of plasma, and in certain times this plasma is either very strangely shaped or behaves very strangely, like it seems to be aware of people. Then there are other meteorological phenomena. For example, many parts of the world have these will-o'-the-wisps or like strange lights. Now, no one's really sure what these things are. In another age, they could be called ghosts. In contemporary times, there's an overlap between these phenomena and UFO sightings, and it's just a strange, bizarre world. And you could learn, actually, a lot of these incidents from this one particular book. It's called the Handbook of Unusual Natural Phenomena by Eminent researcher William R. Corliss. This book is also in the video description. It's out of print. All of William Corliss books are out of print, actually, which is a pity because William Corliss is a really interesting American researcher, and he made it his life's mission to collect reports of strange phenomena in weather, in biology, in geology. And what sets him apart from other researchers of these weird phenomena is that Corliss always cites peer-reviewed or at least scientific journals. So he has got the evidence, the written evidence at least, to back up his claims. And this way, he has amassed a vast archive of strange phenomena. and reading it just makes you feel better about the universe, because you realize that we haven't solved everything yet. There are these little pieces of ball lightning that are like budgies. There are these gigantic fans of light rotating underwater. There are these like parallel bands of clouds, or like there's even a case of a square-shaped halo around the moon, which is amazing. Thousands of records like that. So if you got money to spare, if you got those shiny new $14,000 Biden checks and you don't need them for your immediate survival, try to buy these books by William R. Corliss. You won't be disappointed. And yeah, they're a bit expensive, but like you will be buying a heirloom heritage volume. You know, that book will be in your family's library for generations to come. So anyways, that was a big side, but let's get to the matter on hand. So in this one particular book, a Handbook of Unusual Natural Phenomena, Corliss refers to this one article found in the Journal of Meteorology, published in 1976 in the UK. And it's just the most bizarre, unusual, extraordinary case of, like, okay, your mind can stretch to accommodate things like ball lightning, you know. Yeah, maybe it's a kind of ionization of vapor in the soil. You know, I mean, you could at least construct this framework to begin to understand what it might be. But no such luck there. I mean, this thing is classified as ball lightning, but it's a heck of a ball lightning. It's the kind of... So a woman observed this. Actually, let's read the article. Remarkable occurrence of unusually shaped ball lightning, 15 August 1975. On 15 August 1975, Miss Emmy MacArthur of Collie Bragad near Inveraray in Argyllshire, Scotland. Must be a interesting place. I actually googled Inveraray. It's also spelled as Inveraray. It looks like a really beautiful place. Anyways, this lady, Miss Emmy MacArthur, witnessed the phenomenon of ball lightning outside her home. So far, so good. But the plasma adopted an unusual form whose shape is of interest in view of current studies in ball lightning research. Okay, so the publishers of this magazine had this incident brought to their attention by a letter from another person. Anyways, what happens is that this woman wrote to this Dr. A.E. Cummins, who in turn wrote it to this journal, which in turn was used by William Corliss in this Handbook of Unusual Natural Phenomena, which in turn I read, and I'm bringing it to you. Another side note here, first degree research is the best thing in the world. It's the most rewarding, most insightful, most relaxing, therapeutic way to read stuff. Like, dive in, you know, anything. Insect journals, snail journals, weather journals. You're sure to discover something amazing. And that's how you become a good, if I may say so, content creator. Content. God, I hate that word. It's like going to a zoo and calling all the animals meat. Like, you can't miss the target more, you know. But anyways, back to this letter to Dr. Cummins by Miss Emmy MacArthur of Inveraray, as she witnessed the amazing thing that was the Inveraray entity. Okay, let's read on. This is in my horrible accent, imitating the lady. I must tell you of the most magnificent thing I saw during the last storm of thunder and lightning, which was in the autumn. It was what I called a bulb of lightning, not a bolt. A bulb of lightning, you see. This is exact words I'm reading. It was dome-shaped, opaque, like 8 inches in length, slim, and came down slowly to within 9 inches of the ground in front of the house. This bulb lingered, and attached to it was a long tail which came down slowly after it. I would say the tail was 1 yard in length, seemed like half an inch in width, like crinkly white silk ribbon, like the old-fashioned ribbon. We don't know what she means by old-fashioned ribbon. Maybe some sort of wrapping paper? I remember when I was a baby, there were these like cheap Christmas tree ornaments, which is something like shredded aluminum foil arranged on a string. Maybe that's what she's talking about, but I don't know. I mean, I was a baby in the 1980s. And remember, this incident is taking place in November 1975. Anyway, but like get into I'm reading in a funny voice, okay, we're having our laugh, but get into the framework. You get out of the house, and out there's this floating thing. It looks like for the lack of a better word, it looks like a lightsaber with a glowing flagellum-like tail and a swollen part in the middle. Anyways, the lady keeps recounting her experience. The tail kept above the bulb which lingered. We know from this experience that the bulb likes to linger. Bulb which lingered, and then it all snuffed out like a candle and left no trace. Oh my God. So it's like this floating thing, and whoosh, disappears. Okay, so this chatty lady was a prolific writer of letters, because she wrote another letter in which she described this amazing incident again. And this time the letter is addressed to a certain G.T. Meaden. Okay, here we go again. I call it a bulb of lightning. It was opaque. It may or may not have been lit inside. So this gives a different perspective. Now, it's not like ball lightning at all. It's almost like this thing has a opaque, concrete body, whatever it is, which may or may not have been lit inside. Remember, this incident sounds really arcane, but it's taking place in the 1970s. I wonder if some, jokester up there in Inveraray slipped some LSD into this lady's drink. That might explain a lot. Well, I'm joking, but serious. I mean, something like this is not impossible. It's also not impossible for this lady to be lying. I mean, this is not to demean her, but let's put on our skeptic hats here. This lady likes to write a lot of letters. That means she maybe wants some attention. There might be very understandable reasons for this, but maybe she's making it all up. But even if she's making it up, she has an amazing imagination. And okay, there's something about this incident that leads me to think that it's not made up. I mean, this woman really may have had this experience, because if someone makes something up, it's, predictable stuff, no matter how wild. Maybe she would report a red ball floating about, or even like little green man, or I don't know, floating cross for all that matter. Like something like that I could understand. Like that sounds more like the fabrication of an old lady's imagination. But this thing, it really looks like a freak of nature phenomenon. Maybe she's glimpsing something. Maybe she's glimpsing a part of something. She doesn't even understand what she is, but she's trying to describe it. And let's keep reading. It would be 9 inches in length, slim, dome-shaped. I saw it from my chair at the fire. Come down in front of the kitchen window and did not touch the ground. It hovered 9 inches above. Some precise measurements you're obtaining from the comfort of your chair in front of your kitchen window. But anyways, attached to the bulb was a long white crinkly tail, not an earthly white, 1 yard or more in length, 1 inch or slightly more in width. She's really poetic. Not an earthly white. You know, you would expect to read something like this at an H.P. Lovecraft story. Anyways. It was like an old-fashioned watered silk ribbon we used to buy in the draper's shop. Okay, so we know what she means by old-fashioned ribbon. It's not a Christmas ornament. The tail kept to the end of the bulb, also kept slightly higher. It did not fall down as ribbon would have done. So this thing is defying gravity. Bizarre. Bulb and tail snuffed out like a candle, leaving no trace. That was the end of the thunderstorm. The thunder began to roll on Monday the 11th. And remember, this incident is taking place on... When is it taking place? So the report is dated 17th of November. Okay, so it's like she's writing it a week later or something. I don't know. It was not too bad, but we knew it had not finished. Oh, that's ominous. So you knew something paranormal is in store, almost. There were peals of thunder to be heard on the other days of the same week, but it came to its height on Friday, 15th of August, between 4 and 6 o'clock in the afternoon. There was a fearful crash of thunder on the corner of the slated roof of the building. I expected to see damage done. Oop. Wait. Okay, so I'm using a software here that's limited to 20 minutes, so I need to do something and we'll be right back. Alright, we are back investigating one of the world's strangest weather phenomena, an apparition so strange it may have been an alien entity for all evidence. Oh my god, I love this song. Anyways, we're back. I love this software. It's this kind of little thing that allows me to use the laptop like a DJ. And boy, it's fun. By the way, as you know, this episode has a trick game. If you know what this song is, comment and you'll be eligible for a prize draw. Or maybe I'll be in a good mood and I'll just send you a gift through email. Just join in with the comments, everyone. And also, while you're at it, flip a dime to me through patreon.com. All contributions, even $1 per month, it's really welcome. It helps me get stuff done and just feels good to be appreciated that way. Anyways, the last we left off, I was reading you the letter written by Mrs. M.E. MacArthur of Inveraray, describing an amazing and incomprehensible sort of weather phenomena. And she was describing how before this incident happened, there was an enormous thunderstorm in the vicinity. And this is written in a way to suggest as if the thunder may have caused this thing, which is why in this journal of meteorology it is classified as an extremely aberrant form of ball lightning. But as she describes, it's something not of this earth. It defies gravity. It's got like a tail and a body. The body is opaque and the tail is an unearthly white color. Anyways, let's read on with the letter. She just describes the same thing over and over again. When I went out later to see when the thunder finished, everything was all right. It was with that fearful crash of lightning the bulb came down, and as I said, it hovered slowly. The movement of the bulb was a little jerky. It followed for about a yard. Just went the one way straight forward. Then it and the tail snuffed out like a candle, leaving no trace. There was no rain or wind with the thunderstorm. This I thought was very strange. Okay, so this is the end of her account. But now we got a whole new piece of evidence. So there was thunder and storms all week. And then one day, in a rainless day, there's a thunderclap. Like a lightning strikes or something. And then this thing appears. According to the lady, blah blah blah, it was with that fearful crash of lightning the bulb came down. So the bulb appeared, manifested in three-dimensional space with the crash of lightning. So it's like and then suddenly snuffed out, leaving no trace of its existence. And actually, if you look at the visuals, the image I submitted for this video, you could see the eyewitness drawing prepared by Miss Emmy MacArthur herself on the lower right corner. Opaque, it's a word she likes to use. Opaque handle, glowing, tail 1 yard or more, and then to slightly the left of this drawing, there's an inverted drawing from this amazing book that I told you about, the Handbook of Unusual Natural Phenomena by William R. Corliss. And that's his rendition of the phenomenon. And of course the image is my rendition of the phenomena. It's not a very good job, but so now we've reviewed this amazing event, and if it was true, and remember there's a couple of reasons why maybe this may not have been true. Maybe the lady is just hungry for attention, but it's a very surreal thing to report. Maybe she had a hallucination. There are actually visual hallucinations that very slightly resemble this thing. There's this thing called a scintillating scotoma, which starts out as a blind spot, and it grows out in a kind of shimmering, crinkly shape in your field of vision. This is a neurological hallucination. It's a migraine of the optic nerve. It's a natural thing, rare, but don't be scared if it happens to you. It happened to me actually a couple of weeks ago, and my wife was really scared. But I was a veteran. I had scotomas twice before, and I was like, nah, I handled this. I got this. Anyways, let's move back. Maybe this was a visual hallucination like a scotoma, but maybe she's faking it because she's hungry for attention, it seems, this lady. She writes letters all over the place. But the thing she reports is so strange that it doesn't sound like something someone would make up for attention, you know? So we're left with this amazing vision and an amazing encounter. What could this thing really be? I mean, if we put our speculative thinking caps on, maybe this is not a weather phenomenon. Maybe this is actually a living creature of sorts. Maybe our world or our plane of existence is home to creatures that are formed by the transfer of energy through non-physical means. That is to say, it's like an organism, but, you know, organisms have bodies made up of molecules, and they're powered by energy formed by the breaking down of certain molecules. So maybe this was something like a antimatter organism that's normally invisible. It's got a tail, it's got a body, it's got organs, for crying out loud. It's very strange. It's an organized thing, whatever it is. And maybe it was actually struck by lightning and revealed. So maybe things like this are living all around us. But this one was just unlucky enough to be stricken by lightning in front of this lady's kitchen, and she reported it for us to see. Maybe this was actually a tentacle or a leg of a far larger organism, a far larger invisible antimatter, paramatter organism that just got away. There are these things in cryptozoological folklore. I mean, in Japan, there's a belief in skyfishu. Of course, all I've seen is a Japanese TV show about this thing, but maybe the TV show is just self-consciously fake news. But anyways, they think that there are these flying entities that move so fast that no one has ever seen them. And I remember in this show they go to a forest and somebody shows some cracks on a tree trunk and it's surrounded by something like jelly, and they say this is where the skyfish impacted and died, and we can't see them because it's moving so fast. And actually this entity, this folkloric entity, has a direct counterpart in the Western world. It's known as a rod, a sky rod to be more precise. So what happens is these not so intelligent people take pictures of insects flying. Of course, an insect is flying so fast that the camera's shutter captures it as a sort of rod with wings. It's like a Google it, you'll see it. This description given by Miss MacArthur sounds a bit like, or looks a bit like, that sky rod or those skyfish. By the way, for the record, I don't believe in sky rods or skyfish. I understand that this thing may have been a once-in-a-lifetime natural phenomenon, but I don't think it represents a flying creature. But I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be a sort of organized energy phenomenon that has nothing to do with lightning ball lightning or otherwise. The world is strange, ladies and gentlemen, and it's deliciously strange. I mean, I really recommend everyone and anyone to research these first-hand journals themselves, and you'll see many more interesting things. I mean, you know, you look at YouTube, there's these channels, there's these like fringe topics, let's say cryptozoology. There's a video on, let's say, a flatwoods monster. How did the flatwoods monster end up on YouTube? It was published in a newspaper, and someone read it, wrote about it in a book, then it filtered down to cyberspace, to UFO folklore, and that's how knowledge is manufactured, you know. So, step up in the game of paranormal or Fortean knowledge manufacture. Step up your game, soldier. Start reading first-hand research, and then you'll be like the top of the food chain. You'll be producing these stuff for other people to read and speak about for generations to come. I mean, forget about the Inveraray entity. May have been a lie. Who cares? Who cares? Seriously. Maybe the real joy was the research we made all along the way. But really, it hones your research skills. It makes you feel good to discover something. Well, not discover, but to uncover something after a long period of obscurity. And it just feels good to share these with your friends or viewers. But anyways, ladies and gents, this was my take on the Inveraray entity. Wrongly classified as ball lightning, it was probably a fake, but maybe also something quite out of this world. Maybe it was one of these many secret wonders that the world still abounds with, and this lady was just lucky enough to discover it that way. Anyways, this has been Siam Kosaman. I hope you enjoyed researching the Inveraray entity with me. What do you think it was? Please share your view on the comments. And also, you know, there's this other contest with the song that's just playing in the background. I might do all my shows like this now, playing completely unrelated songs while talking about really obscure stuff. That's life, man. I'm cruising on the fast lane right now. It's so fun. I hope you had fun. Please share your views, critiques, and also support me on Patreon. And I hope you all have a good time. This has been Siam Kozaman. Have a nice day.